So believe it or not, I actually didn't have sex until I was married, which I don't know. Maybe it's not a surprise. I was a chubby kid, couldn't do anything, but so far and thus in my life, before I got married, I had been accused of sexual assault. Right back when before I was 18, Um, anyway, and then I dated those two girls. I went on a few other dates, just throwaway dates, complete disinterest. I tried. I think I was getting a little bit better with myself. My relationship with the second girlfriend helped me a lot. Um, and then, you know, I I got myself in a position where I could go on a mission for my church for 2 years. I lost like 100 pounds on my mission. I went to St. Louis for 2 years and I worked really hard and I didn't look at pornography for 2 years and I didn't do anything, like it was really good. It was really good for me. I think it changed my life so much, helped so much, right? That was a tenth of my life, 10% of my life thus far, and I did that, and it was so good. And I got home, and being on a mission, you talk to people, and nobody wants to talk to you, right? Everybody hates you for the most part. And saw some cool stuff there, Um, a lot of violence there. Oh, it was a rough place. I was in inner city St. Louis too. Pretty awesome people. I love the people in St. Louis, but there's so much that we can do to help some of these inner city issues that go on. Holy smokes, man. Anyway, that's a whole nother story, but I remember getting home and I told the story of how I met my ex, but the sexual addiction was still there the whole time. I was just had such a good structured program that it helped me. And the idea there is like I needed the structure and the support, and I had it. I mean, you're with somebody 24/7, and it helped me to kind of not necessarily overcome, but have those influence that it had been in my life lessen. And it was good. I was always religious. I just didn't know how to act. Like I didn't have a parent there for like 5 years of my life, hardly. My alcoholic dad, I lived with him for 5 years, and he was I don't remember him being there that much, you know. Or he'd date these women that didn't lead very good lives. I don't know, a lot he would bring home. So, I mean, I had to raise myself through crucial years of my life, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to do. I feel terrible about it. I feel terrible about all of my actions. I feel the weight of those things all the time. So the mission really helped kind of take that off of me. When I when I came home, I went back to school. I was just on a hiatus for a little bit, and I met my ex-wife. Um, she was everything I wasn't. She was strong. I don't know what attracted her to me. Maybe I just had energy, or I was pushy. I don't know. Maybe the mission helped me talk to people more, all types of people, and I learned how to persuade people to do things. I don't know, but I somehow convinced my ex-wife to marry me. I mean, I'm so grateful for my kids, and I'm so sorry for her for what I had to put her through. But as far as like my sexual addiction, it was still around, or I hadn't had sex yet, which is great. It's a miracle, sort of. Maybe not. I still don't think it was. I was skinny at the time. I had lost 100 pounds, right? I felt attractive and confident, right? So I was excited, Like, and with us, it was obviously, what sex was for us was a lot more vanilla. She was a member of the church too with me, and she didn't do anything beforehand. And so, I mean, I was at a disadvantage and it affected her negatively, right? I learned quickly that things weren't going to be in my mind. And I kind of knew that going in too. I kind of had those expectations, and honestly, it was fine. It kept me under control and balanced. I didn't need to be as deviant as I had in my mind that I needed to be. I still had those impulses though for the whole 10 years. Like, I still wanted to do stuff. So I say that because after we got a divorce, and this wasn't a reason, this wasn't the reason for the divorce at all. It had nothing to do with sex. Zero. But I remember being divorced, and I got in a relationship with this girl, and like, I remember doing everything that I had in my mind initially that I kind of built up. But I remember none of it being fulfilling, right? None of it being. I think I'd built it up in my mind for so long that I thought it was going to be more than it was. But you know what? Not really. It's funny because, like, those things that you want to do, you think they're going to be fulfilling, but at the same time, you're like, not really. Like, I just knew that they weren't going to be as good as what I had built them up. And after 10 years, like, I just knew that. And so I remember after getting out of this quick relationship with this girl, that I was done. Like, I was done with relationships generally. I know I'd still have the impulse to get in a relationship with girls, but I just needed to not do that. B, like, I kind of, kind of I kind of turned like asexual. Like, I didn't get any pleasure, and I have crazy stories about what happened with this girl, but I don't want to share those. But I remember not like doing the craziest stuff you can think of, and not the craziest. It gets worse, but we were moderate. But I mean, like, I remember feeling like that I wasn't getting pleasure or satisfaction out of those things. So that just was like, well, crap. Like, I can't get satisfaction in sex anymore, and for good reason. I think I burnt myself out on it when I was a teenager. I don't know. I think pornography had such a ill effect on my mind that it just never quite healed, right? But I just remember just being done with it, and I still am. Like, and now, like, I'm gaining weight again, and I'm like, well, that just solidifies it. But and I can't help but think, well, I'm fat now, so I can't get in a relationship, or I feel fat. I don't know if I'm fat. I am very overweight, right? I think I'm considered morbidly obese at this point, even though I don't look it. I carry my weight fine, but still, like, it's not good. And then I eat how many hamburgers I had yesterday. Holy crap. How many burritos. Oh my gosh. I just want to shoot myself. But not really. I just an expression. But yeah, so that's kind of how things worked out for me. That's my terrible sex life. Terrible experiences. My ex was like my shining hope, and I failed in that. So this is why I have no hope for my future in that regards. I should never have children again. I love my kids to pieces, but I should never give any more children what I have. Like, those two boys are going to be affected enough by whatever my genetics are and my personality. So I have to avoid those situations as much as I can. Maybe I should get a vasectomy. I've really pondered that just in case, because I'm impulsive. I know I'm impulsive. I don't trust myself at all. And I could get in a position where I would have a scare, like, and my poor future children that I don't want to have because I don't want, not because this world is terrible, but because I am terrible, literally. So I cry for my children, like I just don't, I just don't I don't like myself enough. And I know I don't like myself, and I don't want them ever to see that. You know? I don't want them to deal with what I had to go through.